Journey with the Gita 2. Sankhya Yoga. Arjuna's overwhelming grief. Seeing the grief stricken Arjun, Krishna observes, not befitting to be deluded with the grief, to yield to the weakness of heart in this hour of peril on the battlefield. Arjun responds, the idea of shooting arrows at my grandfather Bhishma, my Guru Dronacharya, is heart wrenching. I don't want blood tainted pleasures. I rather live by begging. I am bewildered in my heart. My grief is drying up my senses. O Krishna, consider me as your disciple. I surrender to you. Instruct me. Soul and its nature. Then Krishna declares unequivocally, Arjun, the things you lament over are unworthy of grief. Consider this joys and sorrows that arise out of sense perceptions come and go like winter and summer. So learn not to be agitated by them. Moreover, the living or the dead never cease to exist. The embodied, along with the body, goes through the phases of childhood, youth, and old age, casts off worn out bodies, accepts new ones, the perishable, transient body grows and dies. On the other hand, the soul, imperishable, immeasurable, eternal, unchangeable, immovable, cannot be cut, burnt, moistened, dried, insoluble. Neither it is born nor it dies, cannot be killed nor destroyed. Even if it is subject to death, something that is born has to die, and after the death it will be reborn. Why lament over the inevitable, which is unworthy of grief? Hence, do your duty. Because avoidance brings dishonor, fight your righteous war, treating alike victory or defeat, gain or loss, happiness or distress. Buddhi Yoga, Krishna's description, two types of minds, irresolute minds, resolute minds. Irresolute minds, many branched minds, with their limited understanding are drawn to material benefits, high birth, opulences, sense gratification, and ritualistic ceremonies. On the other hand, resolute minds have one path. Explanation of the way to work. Working with the understanding of subtle meaning of karmas leads to liberation from bondage of karma. That subtle meaning urges you to rise above the three gunas, tamo, rajo, sattva. Be free from dualities. Be unconcerned about loss or gain. Be situated in the self. To do so, follow the path of non attachment. Remember, you have the right to do your duty, but you are not the cause of fruits of work. Be non attached to fruits of work and inaction as well. Keep away the acts done with the eyes on rewards, but be engaged in all activities skillfully, without being attached to successes and failures. Such state of equanimity amounts to yoga. This detachment to fruits of work leads to the state beyond suffering, develops steadfast mind and equipoised state. The traits of the equipoised, sthita prajna, gives up desires of mind, neither agitated by sorrows nor elated by joys, neither praises good things nor hates bad or evil things, free from attachment, fear, anger, withdraws senses from sense objects. Rising above the effects of senses on mind, contemplation of sense objects develops attachment. Attachment leads to anger. Anger results in delusion. Delusion bewilders memory. Bewildered memory causes loss of intelligence and the final ruination. But strong and turbulent senses carry away even the minds of people with discrimination. Despite the restraint of senses from sense objects, the taste for sense objects lingers on. This lingering taste ceases only upon experiencing the higher one or supreme. The tranquil mind. The way to attain peace of mind is, while using senses, remain unperturbed by the flow of desires. Become free from attachment and aversion. Manage the workings of mind. Unite the mind with the Supreme in order to attain peace and happiness. Once realize the state of equanimity and tranquility, no more mental delusions. Response. Arjun's deep and strong grief dries up even his senses. Such a level of grief numbs our mind and heart. Becoming deluded with the grief, having weakness in heart, are common universal experiences. When overwhelmed with the grief, our mind ceases to work. Apt decisions cannot be taken. In that state of helplessness, as a disciple, Arjun sought Krishna's guidance. Only after listening to his feelings and thoughts, Krishna offered his wisdom and guidance. The lesson for all of us: how important is listening. We will like to complain about small and petty things, get disheartened over minor upsets. Time to begin question ourselves. Are they worth lamenting or grieving? Let us remember Krishna's emphatic statement. Even the inevitable death is not worth grieving. When the ultimate death is not worthy of lamentation, what can we complain about? We may or may not believe in soul, but we all know beyond doubt all beings are expressions of universal energy, divine energy, life force. That energy is neither created nor destroyed. Our bodies are the vehicles of that life force or energy. The end is for bodies, but not for that energy. That is the ultimate inevitable reality in life. Why lament over the inevitable? Hence, let us celebrate life as an expression of universal energy or soul. Bhagavan Krishna rightly points out minds with limited knowledge crave for material rewards, higher birth, become obsessed with ritual ceremonies. We worship, we offer prayers with some or other expectations. We do our duties with expectations. These expectations create stress in our life. Let us work and worship with less attachment to rewards. Highly difficult to manage our desires and temptations, or at the extreme level, our addictions, our senses keep pulling us towards our objects of temptations. Oscillation between restraint and temptations. The main reason for this oscillation, the lingering taste in mind. What an analysis for our desires and temptations. The practical solution: develop higher taste as suggested by Sri Krishna. Senses are in a way responsible for our temptations, but senses are essential for our day to day survival. Hence, we need to learn to work with senses without being disturbed by the flow of desires. That requires the acceptance and management of flow of desires, then only we can attain tranquility.